The work that I'm going to be sharing today, or this process that I'm going to be sharing, is part of a modality that I've been researching and developing over the last 15 years, which is called UZAZU dynamic embodiment. Each situation, each external state and internal state is inviting us to be in a flow with life. How available are we? Is our body-mind awareness to say yes to that which is wanting to happen in each moment? Yeah. How attuned are we to listening to the rhythm of those shifts internally and externally, and answering that invitation of saying yes to that call to return to the self, to open out and include the others, yeah, without getting lost in the others, or to go into the self without feeling isolated, yeah, to really sink down into sensing what's really there in the self, in the group, with an other, with a client, with a lover, with one's culture, with one's embodiment webinar conference. And to what degree is body-mind awareness saying yes to taking that sensation, that which is sensed, and transferring it into action, so there's a coherent response to that which is being sensed? Where in that flow, in that dynamic flow, do we sometimes get stuck? Do we feel the call, but something is preventing us from answering it? Where do we have blind spots, where we just tend to not track that as much? Yeah, we're a little blind to that. So dynamic embodiment is the exploration of that landscape of different ways of enacting our embodiment and the situations that are inviting us to step more into a full embodiment of that potential. So, you ready to dive in and explore these 4 modes of embodiment together? We work in UZAZU a lot with polarity, and polarity in the sense of spatial polarities. The body existing in the material realm exists in space, right? The body takes up space, the body moves in space. And so what better a framework to investigate the different ways that the body inhabits life than through this framework of space? So we're going to go through today 2 dimensions: the sagittal dimension of forward and back, and the vertical dimension of high and low, up and down, rising and falling. So that's going to be our simple framework on which we're going to hang this inquiry. So here we go. Let's start with the sagittal dimension and see what happens when we move our body in a certain way in this sagittal dimension. So if everybody can just take a moment before we jump into that to just stretch. In your own way, just get your body a little waked up. Waked up? Woken up? What I'm about to do, I'm going to do sitting down because the computer is low. You can do it perfectly well sitting down. You can also do it standing up. So I defer to your intuition at this point, whether you want to do this standing up or sitting down. All right. We're going to start in what I call neutral. In neutral. So let's see. Go a little bit back. You can see me. So take your arms and just let them hang from the shoulder, relaxed, so that the fingertips are just out extended just below the belly button. So if there were water, the water would just gently drip down off your fingertips, not holding it up, just letting it go down. Hands maybe about 10 to 15 centimeters in front of your belly, 8 inches. Let your eyes just fall downwards in front of you, about a meter in front of you. Let your focus be soft. Gentle inhale, exhale, and just relax into this space. And now very gently, slightly shift your torso backwards. If you're standing, you can even take a small step backwards. And as you shift backwards, draw your hands towards your chest, almost touching your chest. Let your chin sink a bit down. Draw your eyes inward and then close them. And wrap your awareness around your own self. So pull your awareness, your sphere of attention, tight in or snug in around your own body-mind. And just be with the self for a moment. And just notice what you notice. What is it like to attend to the self? Allow self, with its sensory motor activity and everything going on, to arise and be present within awareness. And now let that go as you drift forwards back to a neutral axis. Hands go back out. Focus is just down in front of you, soft focus. And let's try it again. So my awareness now is not out. In neutral, my awareness is not out on the others. It's not in on myself. It's just in this in-between zone. And from this neutral place, again, shift a bit back, pull the arms in, head a bit down, close the eyes. And just hold the self in awareness. Notice the quality of energy, the feeling in the body-mind. This could be pleasant, this could be a little bit unsettling. Any type of quality of experience could be arising, just notice it. And now let that go as you shift back forwards into neutral. Let the awareness relax, not expanded or contracted. Okay, now let's go the opposite direction. So gently shift forwards, bring your chest a bit forwards, extend your hands out, just a little bit towards the group. Let your face drift forward and your eyes open. And allow me, and if you have gallery view open, the other people to just be present in your awareness. There they are. And just notice what it's like. What's your experience of extending your awareness out to include the others right now? And let that go and drift back into that neutral zone in between, eyes down, soft focus. And exhale, just relax into that. Let your neurology kind of settle again. And from this relaxed neutral space, let's go one more time. Gently, slowly shifting forwards, eyes gradually rising, hands extending out, face and eyes opening up. Allow the others to be present in your embodied awareness. What's the quality of this like for you right now? Is it joyful? Is it exciting? Is it a little bit uneasy? Whatever it is, just notice it. And let that go. And back to neutral. All right. And relax. Shake it out. Clear your breath. And under this self-other dimension, just type in self, everybody, all of you, type in self, all caps, and then one word, whatever comes to mind of what your experience was when you went back into yourself right now. It might be excited, it might be triggering, it might be relaxing, whatever it is. And then other, all caps, dash or whatever, and then one word to speak to what you experienced when you went out. Let's just see what the diversity of experiences that we can have as we shift our attention, our awareness from self to other. As I look through this, as you look through this, you can notice how for some of us, going back was bringing a calmingness or a yumminess, and for others that more tension, right? Whereas for other people, it's the opposite, isn't it? This was calming, this was more tension or anxiety provoking. For others, the other way around. This was more calming, this was more tension or anxiety provoking. Yeah. One very common theme is sadness. And not just here, but I've done this a lot with groups, is sadness going into the self, either anxiety this way or tension or sadness. A very common theme, I see it here, is overwhelm with the other, a sense of or a sense of losing the self. And this is contextual, isn't it? We can have different, it's not that you necessarily always have that experience, right? If you were with somebody in a nice cafe, you really like them, that might be a very different other experience than, I don't know, on an online embodiment conference with a bunch of people you don't know and you're opening yourself up, right? It's very different and different, I'm just, as an example. Very different in different situations. And yet at the same time, you might notice a trend. Did anybody, while it is contextual, we tend to have our biases. Did you notice that the experience that you had here and here, raise your hand if that's familiar to you, as you recognize that now, that, oh yeah, I see this playing out in my life in various ways. Yeah, a lot of us. Okay.